What if there was a story that didn't just want to be read? It wanted you. They say some books aren't meant to be opened. We found one. A strange, leather-bound collection of horror stories with no title and no author. Inside the cover, one warning was written in what looked like blood. Never read the words in red. We thought it was a gimmick, a cheap scare. We were so wrong. It was supposed to be the perfect weekend. Me, Liam, Chloe, and Maya in a quiet cabin deep in the woods. The air was sharp. The trees whispered when the wind moved through them, and at night the silence felt heavy, like the forest was holding its breath. In town, we found a small antique shop that smelled like dust and candle wax. Maya spotted the book wedged between a taxidermied owl and a cracked porcelain doll. The leather was cold, too cold. She bought it for $5. That night, she opened it. Inside was the same warning. Never read the words in red. Liam laughed and said, "Come on, it's part of the act." He was wrong. The first story was called The Tailor of Tattered Skin. It told of a reclusive tailor who could mend anything: cloth, bone, flesh. His thread was made of shadow. His needle could sew eyes open. Halfway through, we found a paragraph written in deep red ink. It was an incantation, a summoning. Chloe whispered for him not to read it, but Liam grinned and read it anyway. The words bent the air. When he finished, the fire flickered and the shadows on the wall seemed to breathe. Then nothing. We laughed. We thought it was over. But that night came the first sound. Snip, 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 like scissors. Slow, precise. Then a black thread stretched from under the armchair across the floor. When I reached for it, it vanished. By morning, our clothes were neatly folded. Chloe found a sewing needle on her pillow. Maya swore something brushed her hair while she slept. Every night, the sound returned. Snip, snip, snip. By the third night, it was outside. The scraping of a needle traced the door. Then a black thread slipped through the crack, sewing it shut from the outside. Liam froze. "What is that?" he whispered. Chloe said, "The tailor. You called him." A figure stood outside the window, tall, thin. Its outline rippled like fabric. Its face was a blur. A long needle tapped against the glass. Tap, tap, tap. It wasn't trying to come in. It was sealing us inside. Maya screamed that there had to be a way to stop it. She flipped through the book until she found another story, The Sunken Choir. Its red passage looked like a prayer. She read it aloud. The air turned wet. Water began to drip from the ceiling. A moan rose from beneath the floorboards, hundreds of voices singing through drowned lungs. We hadn't stopped the tailor. We'd invited something worse. The walls wept. Threads tightened. Liam ran for the back door, but a cord wrapped around his ankle and dragged him down. More followed, sewing him into the wall as he screamed. Chloe gasped, choking on invisible water, drowning on dry land. Only Maya and I were left. The tailor's silhouette rippled against the stitched windows as the phantom flood rose around us. I grabbed a fire poker, smashed the glass, and pulled her through. We ran into the woods. The sound of tearing stitches followed us, and a voice whispered, "You shouldn't have read the red." We reached the road by dawn. A trucker found us. We never told him what happened. We never went back. The cabin is still there, stitched shut, silent. And maybe the book is too, waiting. So if you ever find an old book with no title, no author, and warnings written in red ink, don't read it. But if you're the kind of person who would, who needs to know if the tailor's still out there, who thinks you can finish what we started, then here's your challenge. Find the book, read the red, and when the stitching starts, make sure you hit subscribe, because that's when I'll know you found it.